Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm 31 years old, based out of Wausau, Wisconsin, and this is Financial Audit.
What do you do in Wisconsin for a living? Home of the Butterburger, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Culver's. Some of my friends are Culver's haters, and they are incorrect about life. So what do you do in Wisconsin for a living?
Yeah, I am a program manager for Wisconsin Reading Corps.
Oh, cool. Okay, what do you make in that position?
I make $52,000 a year gross.
What does Reading Corps do again?
Yeah, Reading Corps puts tutors into elementary schools to help kids kindergarten through third grade get better at reading. And I help those tutors to, make sure they have everything that they need to do that job. Oh, okay. And we're actually recruiting right now all across the country. I think we're in like 5 or 6 states with more on the way. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, if anybody wants to check it out, we're an AmeriCorps program and we're looking for people. I
could have used that when I was in elementary school, I'm going to tell you. I sucked at reading for the longest time. Still suck at spelling. Yeah. So $52,000 a year. Is this a single household income?
Yes.
Okay. How do you feel living off of $52,000 a year?
Honestly, I'm pretty comfortable right now. It's the most that I've ever made. So
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So $52,000 a year. Is there a state income tax in Wisconsin? I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. Usually it's probably not crazy. So what do you think you bring home on a monthly basis? What hits your account? So I get about a little bit more than 1,400 every 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah. I see 2,956 came in the most recent month. So off of that, I'm curious. Well, we have debts we're going to go into, but I'm immediately curious of that area and what the rent looks like. What's your rent?
Yeah, my rent is about $1,000 a month.
Okay.
I do actually have to move because my rental property was like, we're going to do a 20% increase. And 20%? I was like, no, you're not. So I did find a place. I was going to try and downsize a little bit, but the apartment sold before I could get it. So I got an apartment for the same space at $1,000 again. So.
$1,000. And yeah, that's kind of right on the cusp. That's like, yeah. But.
And I am expecting to get a little bit more in my take home. So I wiggled some things around. I should get a little bit more, so it'll probably be closer to $1,500 every 2 weeks.
Oh, gotcha. Well, right now it's like 35% of your income goes to rent, which is higher than the 30% I'd like to see, which makes it harder to get out of some of these debts. So there's debts. We're going to get into the debts. First, why are we in these debts? What is your financial situation? What do things look like right now?
Yeah, my financial situation is better than it was.
Okay.
Yeah. I did get into a bit of credit card debt.
A bit.
And student loan debt is a lot.
What'd you go to school for?
I got my bachelor's degree in English with an emphasis in creative writing.
From where?
From Carthage College in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Is that private?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yes. They actually gave me a $10,000 scholarship, and I was like, whoa, that's so much money. And that's how
they get you.
Yeah. So
those expensive private places.
Yeah. And then I went to the University of Wisconsin. University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee for my master's degree.
Are you even using your master's degree?
Kind of. So.
What was your master's in?
Creative writing.
Okay.
And I did see a few episodes ago, you did have somebody else who has dyscalculia. I also do. So, I mean, those numbers are so big, they don't feel real, especially at 18. And so I was like, yeah, sure. So I got into all of this debt. I get out of school and I cannot find a job anywhere. I'm working at Hardee's. I'm living at home. My student loan payments.
When was graduation year of college?
2014.
The economy had relatively recovered, but with a writing degree, and it wasn't a supers workers economy, that is quite difficult.
Yeah. And so I was working at Hardee's. My private student loan payments were $1,000. Yeah.
$1,000? Were you even making those payments?
I was. Okay. But it was taking everything. I was living at home. I did end up getting a job at a call center. I started to make a little bit of progress, but it was still just, there was no way I could afford to move out or do anything. And so I was like, I need to pause this and regroup, restructure. So I went back to grad school under the thought that they would pay for it, and that didn't happen.
Well, once you realized it wouldn't happen, why'd you go back?
Well, I was only there for 2 years. And
Well, you found out they wouldn't pay for it after?
Mm-hmm.
How does that make sense? You were paying the bill, right?
Yeah,
or you were taking out like a loan to pay it?
So
and they were like, we'd pay it back? Is that what they said?
No, I applied. They said, I thought I was going to get a TA position.
Mm-hmm.
When I didn't get it the first year, I was like, well, I'll get there. I'll get some experience. They'll see my work ethic, and then I'll get it the next year, and that'll be fine. So I went back. I put all of my loans back into deferment. I became a reading tutor with Reading Corps, actually. I got like my first official apartment, was doing okay. And then the position for Reading Corps opened up as a program manager about 6 months after that one. Got the job. They asked me to move to Wausau. So I did. I hired a moving company for the first time in my life, or I thought I did. I apparently hired a moving broker.
Why has there been confusion about every single thing you've went into debt for? You like thought college was paid for. You thought this was a mover. I feel like a trend is starting, but go ahead.
Well, I'm a very easily confused person, but, and not all of the debt is confusion. It was, I moved. They charged me twice what I was expecting them to. Now, at this point, I'm in Wausau. My parents are in Milwaukee. I didn't know what else to do, so I just paid them.
You just have an emergency fund. And
yeah.
Your parents came from the classic American school of finances.
Yeah. And while I was in grad school, I did save up $4,000. So I had paid.
Well, but you also went into debt for grad school, so did you really?
Yeah, but it helped me get the apartment and get on my feet. And
That's
then,
good.
After I got into the Wausau apartment, basically that had been my goal, right? Like, get an apartment, be able to pay my bills on my own. I also got my private student loan, the interest rate lowered. Mm-hmm. So now it's only like 6 point something instead of 12.
Is that the personal loan?
That's a private student loan, yeah.
Oh.
I sent it.
The one that's going to be paid off in like 20 years?
It's 17 now, but yeah.
That's crazy. A student loan for 17 years? Mm-hmm. Is that how you want it?
No, it's not what
That's like a mortgage.
Yeah, it is. And that's what it was. That was the one that was $1,000 a month before I got it refinanced, and now it's only like...
Because it's 17 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What would you give yourself? Score 0 to 10.
I mean, a 0 to 10 is probably going to be a 1 or a 2 because I have started, I don't have everything there. I did open a high yield savings account. There's not a lot in it yet, but I'm able to make my payments and have a little bit left over. I'm also at the beginning of my career, basically. How
long have you been in this job position?
18 months.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. And about this time last year, they did give me a raise for just like the first 6 months that I had worked.
Good. Let's take a look at your debts and see where things are. So this must have been the moving card.
It was moving, and then...
Where'd you move from?
I moved from Milwaukee to outside of Wausau. It shouldn't have been that much.
Okay, so in state.
Yeah, it should not have been that much.
5,133 is what's owed?
That is not all the moving. Some of that was I stopped caring. And
When?
After I moved, like I said, that had been my goal. I didn't have a goal anymore. And basically it was like that, like you talk about, the lifestyle balloon for about a year. And I got real stupid. I wasn't looking at it. I wasn't thinking about it, just paying the minimum payments.
What made you change from that to like, okay, maybe I should be an adult?
Your stuff popped up, and I looked at it, and I was like, well, I don't think the interest is that much. And then I saw the interest come through and went,
It's $103. Plus, what are the fees? What are the $30 fees?
I got that reversed. So it was an accident. That was a mistake on their part. I called them and got that reversed.
Good. I was gonna say.
I don't have that Discover card anymore. I did a balance transfer over to a 0% APR for 21 months, and I have it planned out. So,
when'd you do that?
I think it finalized just after I sent you this stuff, so that's why I wasn't able to send it to you.
Okay, so the balance is the same. 5,133?
No, the balance now is 4,885.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The other was just the rest was just paid? Yeah.
Okay. I just paid off the rest.
0%, what's the minimum monthly payment?
To get it paid off, it's about 235, and I apologize if I flip my numbers around.
Okay.
And I plan on...
When's the interest-free period end?
In 21 months. So I had it written down.
21 months from when? Now?
Last month, July. Yep.
So 20 months from now? Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to take a brief moment to thank today's video sponsor, Holzkern. Listen, I turn down like 99% of the sponsorships here, and usually wants category items or things that I don't accept, but this is something that I found to be really cool, actually. So they sent me a sample, and I was like, you know what? If I like it, I'll accept it. Turns out, I do like it. Holzkern creates magnificent, timeless pieces made with natural elements and offer a wide variety of water-resistant watches so that you never need to worry, even during showers or beach vacations. So check this out. They're like, pick whatever you want. And I was like, I want a watch. And I got this watch. And it's beautiful. I really like it. I know nothing about watches, to be completely honest, but I go for the look, I go for the style, I go what's functional, and I really like this thing. I was looking for a gift to give one of my friends recently, and this seems like the perfect gift, and I'm excited to give it out. Besides watches, Holzkern also makes other accessories such as jewelry, both for men and women. They also make handbags made from wood and stone. So it's not only great for yourself, but just like with this watch, it's great for someone else as a gift. But to be very clear, this is a want. This is not for people who are in bad, disgusting death debt. If you have no bad debt and you have a fully funded emergency fund and you're following the 50-30-20, this is something great to put in your 30% spent on fun. And right now, they have a limited time promotion going on if you're in that category. They're offering a 15% discount if you use the code CALEB15. Check out the link at the top of the description below or go to holzkern.com/CalebHammer. Have a look, and I think you'll find some things that are awesome. Good. Well, I'm glad, because this thing was sucking you dry. I mean, this year so far, almost $700 was gone.
Yeah.
Why haven't you made more progress on this in general, though?
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't. Okay, I'm good with refinancing, and there's a lot of people who are against refinancing for reasons, and the reasons are, okay, refinanced. Now you have $0 on that card that you can just go balloon up again.
Oh, no, I put it away. It's not even in my wallet.
Don't even put it away. Close the account. I don't care. Cut it up. You're not a credit card person. Number two, because people feel like they've made progress. Because, okay, there's not a 30% interest you're paying on anymore. So it's 0%. I've made progress. I don't need to be aggressive on it anymore. No, we still need to beat it down. We still need to go crazy. So that's why people are against it. I think it's a good move as long as it's done correctly, and I hope that it's done correctly. If you're going to use a credit card, use that Fizz card where it acts like a debit card. I mean, that's what I tell everyone. I put it in every episode because most people on this show are not credit card people, but they still want to take advantage of that stuff.
Well, and I think I'm a credit card person in training. If you saw, I sent a lot that have nothing.
Well, that's a risky thing to be in training for. Well, because if you get credit cards, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, Americans love credit card debt. So here's the student loan. So we have 11 different student loans. They range, but essentially, these are federal.
Yeah. And there's a little bit.
But it's $70,167, and they're going to restart in October. So with that, one, I'm already in talks with Mohila to get on the public service loan forgiveness because Reading Corps, AMPACT, the overarching company, does qualify for that. Also, before I did that, before I went back to school, I was already on the pay-as-you-earn plan. Well, that historically has been
Well, it's not the income-driven repayment plan. It's a different one.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically with that one, even if I didn't do the public service loan forgiveness, if I didn't pay it off in 20 years, they'd be like, you just failed at life. We're going to forget this ever happened.
Oh, yeah. But a lot of those people, though, until the current Department of Education, a lot of the people for much of any of the federal forgiveness loans, I forgot how many, it was like almost like 18 people have had their stuff forgiven in decades.
Yeah.
18. Now, with the current Department of Education, they've been a little more proactive and they've forgiven thousands, I think tens of thousands. So it's different. Yeah. But I do want you to be aware, it seems like, and this is pretty hypothetical at this point, but it's almost like whatever the Department of Education is at the time is going to be more of what determines whether or not your loan is actually forgiven. So I wouldn't be putting all your chips on the table is a little risky in my mind, just based on historical standards.
And I'm not saying that I don't want to attack that if I need to, but with my plan for repaying things, I was already in the pay-as-you-earn plan. I'm still in it, and I don't have to recertify until next November. So my payment is going to be $0 until next November, and every $0 payment counts as a full and on-time payment for the public service loan forgiveness.
Right, but interest still accrues.
Yes, but if the public
and you're
service...
not putting anything towards...
Yeah.
So $0, yes, it counts towards it. And if it gets approved, if it doesn't, that interest is going to balloon so much, it's going to be like $100,000. Do
you think then, because I also have a little bit over $4,000 in the Siegel Education Award for my second year of service as a reading tutor that I haven't used yet. I used the first term, but I haven't used my second term. Do you think I should use that to make monthly payments for the interest? Because I was planning on using it for the payments after I had to recertify.
Well, let's continue going through the situation, see where everything lands by the end. Okay, so yeah, pay as you earn, but you don't earn a bad income though. $52,000. No.
Yeah. So once I recertify, I'll have to pay, but because I don't for the next year, I don't.
Now this consolidation, this is the private student loans.
Yes.
Yeah. I know you're not getting these forgiven.
No, I don't expect to.
No. Original loan amount $78,000. Current $74,000. How long have you been paying on this?
Well, and actually the original amount, that's just what was
right.
It was $83,000.
How long have you been paying on the $78,000?
Since about 2015.
On the $78,000?
Oh, on the $78,000? No. I forget when I refinanced that. It was a 20-year term, and it's got 17 years left.
Oh, that's crazy. I forgot the 20-year term. That's crazy.
For 3 years? I've been paying on it for 3 years. Then.
We're going to want to kill this, even though it's only 6.24%. I mean, that's close enough to the average stock market return in the history of the country of like 8%. That we're going to want to kill this anyway, because you have a mortgage on a degree that you don't even use.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, I mean, I use it. My boss comes to me for creative stuff all the time.
Because of your degree? It's because of the degree, not because of you?
Well, I mean, they're the same.
Okay, so the minimum monthly payment is $592.77 for 17 more years. That's wild. Okay. And Sam's Club, do you pay this card off every time?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I only use it for gas, and then I did use it for a trip that I went on at the beginning of July.
So I'm curious. The Discover that you owe money on, even though it's 0%. The private student loans, which is mortgage.
Yeah.
Why are we choosing Zombie Burger, a hotel thing, Cubby Thing, Beans and Brews, Burger King, Pan Walk, Best Lockers, Splash Summit, El Piestito, In-N-Out Burger, at least eat some like real
I've never
food.
Been before, and you spoke
I'm sorry you had to go.
You spoke so passionately about it, I had to try it.
Princeton County Inn, Papa John's, McDonald's, Kiwi Star, or Quick Star. Maybe that's gas, I don't know.
Quick Star is gas, yeah.
Okay.
Quick Trip is gas too.
Okay. And Dairy Queen. Why did we choose those?
So I had a trip to Utah to visit my best friend planned for probably about a year now. I was going to fly, but then we looked at the flight prices and it was ridiculous.
Why did you cancel the plans?
Because I started watching your videos like a week before these plans. And my mother...
Well, even still, that's not what I'm saying. Why did you choose that? Mindset wise, where was your mindset where you're like, okay, I'm going to choose to do that over pay off the debts?
Because my mom and dad owed me a trip to Utah.
They paid for it?
They gave me $400 for it. So I went a little bit over and I had to pay the difference, but they did give me the $400 for it. Basically, I paid for the 2 hotels because I couldn't get there and back in time.
$104 purchased on Maurice's card?
Maurice's. I bought clothes.
Clothes.
You paid it off.
You did. You paid off a previous balance on a JCPenney card. You have a lot of store cards.
I know.
You have paid $4 interest this year and $34 of fees on the JCPenney card this year. And then we had an Ulta card. We also paid off a previous balance, but no new purchases. And then in here, of which is like the other day...
That's my checking account, I believe.
Yeah. McDonald's, Century Theater, venuing out money. I think that, yep, that would be rent. That checks out now. Collections company? It says collection company.
What's it say? Citizens?
Collection company.
Can I see that? Oh, that's not collections. That's the, yeah, that's about the right time. That is the high interest savings I opened.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Citizens Bank. I went with them.
USL cell phone. So we're not crazy spending.
I went to McDonald's the day after I came back from my trip, and then I was like, no more. So,
okay.
Yeah. So
$3,400 in 401k. Is that your entire retirement?
So far, yeah. Well,
okay, so we're definitely behind on retirement. That's my biggest concern.
And there is 500 in a Roth IRA. I think I also sent you.
Okay, so 4,000. Okay, so you're definitely behind on retirement. That would be my biggest concern at this point. That and the mortgage debt.
Do you consider and I wanted to ask this because you always say, the best year for compound growth. Is that based on when you plan to retire? Because I don't plan to retire.
It's based on the earlier, the better. Because the more time there is to compound grow, the better. So your best time to compound grow is right now.
Okay. Yeah. Because
it was yesterday, but now it's now.
Yeah. I don't plan on retiring until probably about 70 or 75.
Well, that's what you say.
Well, God forbid something horrible happened to me, but we've got a lot of work to do. I want to get reading corps in every state. So,
well, again, that's what you say right now. So rent is $1,000. I like the ambition. I do like that, but it's just future proofing all the way into decades that we can't even really envision. Yeah. That's just hard. So I try not to take that too seriously. But I do like the ambition, and I hope you do meet that goal that you're trying to do. So rent is $1,000. What about utilities and all that stuff combined? My internet as well.
Internet is should be about $75
plus your gas, electric.
Gas and electric ranges a little bit, but it's usually around like $110 for both.
So $185. Okay, and your car, you paid that off? Very good. What is it?
It is a 2013 Hyundai Elantra.
How many miles?
Just over 126,000.
Okay, we might want to be a little preparation in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe not urgent future, but preparation. Gas, how much on a monthly basis?
I've been trying to do a budget because I work from home most of the time, but I do have to go out and do site visits, generally about twice a year. So a lot of times I'll spend like maybe $40 a month, if that, because I don't really drive a lot. And other times I might have to fill up.
Twice a year, though.
Twice, yeah. Like sometimes more than that. It depends on what fires happen, basically. Like I might have to drive down to Stevens Point to help a tutor with an issue or something, and that's going to be more gas.
I'll call it 50 just to take into account those higher months.
Sure.
Phone bill?
My phone bill is, I want to say about $80.
And your food bill, congratulations. You're not eating out anymore. It all is $300 in groceries. Woo woo! Toilet paper, makeup, all the stuff needed to survive. $100. Woo!
Would you still budget that? So I buy in bulk and break down and freeze all of my meat. So like last month I spent $300 at Sam's Club with getting the toilet paper, but I'm probably not going to have to go shopping again for like at least 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that and then like, yeah.
Like, do you leave it or do you?
Well, one thing you can do is you can break it down on a monthly basis in terms of how it's used. But what makes that a little more difficult in that situation and why it might not be best for right now, and it still could be, if you do that for a lot of different things and then just break it down on a monthly basis and then know that you're putting that extra money on the next month towards the stuff that you're making up for in the previous month,
sure,
it can kind of work. But what's really good is have a strict monthly budget usually when getting out of debt, because you know exactly the targets you're hitting on a monthly basis. So it depends how you want to do it. There's a lot of ways to do it. But, sure. But yes, in general, that's fine because I know you can get better value for it. And health insurance through work.
Health insurance through work, yep.
Car insurance? Car
insurance is, along with my renter's insurance, I believe altogether is about $80. I just got it lowered a little bit.
A lot of it. That's really cheap. Compared to like anyone on this show. I think it's the cheapest we've had.
Because I work from home, I got that like low mileage discount plus the safe drivers. So
you need $1,795 to live on a monthly basis. How much did you say you had saved up on the side?
Right now, because I drained my savings in the move, I have.
What wasn't the move? When was the move?
I didn't replenish them.
I was going to say it was a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
right?
I was stupid. Okay. But I have, I'd say $800 right now in savings.
Okay. Taquitos! Taquitos, 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 taquitos! If you're not in bad debt, and it fits in your 50-30-20, shop.calebhammer.com, and you can participate in the meme. And don't forget, 10 lucky purchasers before September 16th will win a signed mug sent directly to them. So you follow that budget exactly. You have $1,161 left on a monthly basis. What I need you to do is, because you have that 800. Oh, this is kind of perfect. Save up first month, 1,161. Then you have a 1 month emergency fund, just a little over. That's great. Put it in a high yield savings account. You can use the SoFi high yield 4.5% now. That's really good. Link in the description below. Paid affiliate link. It's very, very good. It's what I personally use. And then after that, what's difficult? Okay, the Discover card. Okay, there's 20 months left. So what I would do is I'd set up a reoccurring. You said it's $235 a month?
Yeah, I was planning on paying like $250, but I mean, we can change that. My thing was coming here because I know I have all of these things. I wasn't sure what to tackle first, like emergency fund.
What we're going to do for that? Oh, actually, we didn't include debts in your budget. I apologize. So we have a little less money. No? Ah, dang.
Every time I
don't know how I missed that.
Every time I redo it, I think it comes out to I have like $600 of disposable income, I think.
You have $827 of debt we got to put into the... that kills this. I thought...
Sorry.
I legitimately thought like... This is an easy way out. 2,622 is what you need to survive on a monthly basis, which means we have 334 left a month. How many hours a week do you work?
40.
Okay, you're working 60 now. You're going to go get a second job. You got to bring in more money. With $334, you're never going to make progress on the 74% that you can barely even keep up with the interest on that over the course of 17 more years. Who knows what's going to be happening with the student loans once you do the reassess or whatever that was. Like your minimum monthly payment with your income could be like could be that much. Maybe it's 500, maybe it's 600, maybe it's 700. If it was on a 10-year payment plan, it would be like $750, $800 a month on the traditional. So right now we just don't have money anymore, and I just became scared. It was an easy solution, and this thing was going to be done in like 5 more minutes.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, that's fine. I feel sorry for you because now this becomes much more complicated. This becomes, you need to go make another $750 a month minimum post taxes at another job, preferably $1,000, preferably $1,500. You need to just go work your butt off. Another $20 an hour. What's the minimum wage in Wisconsin?
$8.25.
Let's say you just make minimum wage, which is quite rare these days anyway, but let's just say that. 8.25 times 20 hours times, 52 weeks a year. Divide that by 12. It's an extra $750 a month. But you'll make more than that. You'll probably make like 10, 15. I don't care. Go do anything. Go do anything. Do some tutoring on the side, some extra tutoring in the evening, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do. What I need you to do is go make this money and bring it to at least $1,000 overall on a monthly basis. And then for 2 months, you got to set aside enough to have a 1 month emergency fund. Then after that, you still need to increase your minimum monthly payment to the Discover card by $10 starting now. And then it will be gone by the time interest is paid off. We don't need to pay extra on it. So $245, not $235, $245 is what you need to pay on a monthly basis. So
not the $250 then, just the
$245 should do it.
$245, okay.
I think. 485 divided by 20. 244.
Okay, yeah, because I mean it technically it said the minimum payment was $0.
Because they want it to go until it has interest. So no,
I calculated it out.
So 244, 245, whatever. Pay that. That's fine. Now what we're gonna start hitting is this private student loan. This is gonna be accruing interest forever and ever. I want you to have a real mortgage at some point, a real mortgage that's giving you something beneficial and not a degree that is in the past.
Right.
So this extra, but even still, even if you put the total $1,000 for it and you don't have any paid for fund for years and you're working 60 hours a week, it's still going to take 74 months to pay it off, which is just over 6 years, 6 years of this. So it becomes an issue of, oh, you ready for this one? You're going to hate this one. Are you in the right job? Maybe you need to make more.
I mean, I will eventually.
You will eventually.
More,
what I care about is you getting out of the debt. Right. Eventually is fantastic. Maybe you come back when you make more money. I need you to make $75,000 a year, not 52.
Well, and
I know you love your job. It's not an option. That would be the smartest thing to do. It's not an option for you. Okay. So really what that comes down to is, okay, get the raises when you can, but the alternative is you're working 20 hours a week for 6 years, 20 extra hours a week for 6 years because you love this job so much. Or go get another job for a couple of years and pay this off and then come back. But you can also work 60 hours a week and not have any paid for fun for 6 years. It's your choice. I choose the more temporary option than coming back to the job of the dreams. And it's so much easier said than done. Just go get $75,000 an hour a year job. That's obviously not just a thing that happens. You're applying, you're fighting for it. It's actually making the choices and the executions that are necessary in order to actually get that is what I would be asking for. But your degree, and I know I talk about them a lot. And it's because I actually do like them. And I've seen people make progress in life and make, no offense, this is not offensive, better money. You have a bachelor's degree. You have a master's degree. You have $74,000 in private student loans. You have $70,000 in federal student loans. Degrees are great, so good. I would much rather when people know what they want, either don't know what they want to do or know what they want to do in a very specific niche, certifications or trade school. course careers for like different things in techs or going to trade school, plumbers and all this stuff. This is what sucks now is that you're stuck in this $52,000 a year position that you really like, which is great. I like that. And I don't really know much about the organization, but from the sounds of it, from the basic top level thing, I like that too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really good at it too. It feels like the job
that's great. But what makes me sad is that you went into all that debt. You're making this and you're paying on this until like you're in your like mid 50s, late 50s. Late 50s, you should start thinking about retirement when you're in your late 50s, but you're just like, oh, I finally paid off my student loans, my private student loans. And hopefully those other student loans are gone because hopefully they got forgiven because hopefully the Department of Education at that time is actually doing that. I don't know, man. So really, this is your choice. This is your choice. You can follow this tight budget. You can get raises as the years go on. But you're going to have to go work somewhere else on top of it. You're going to have to be working like every second of your life, which really sucks. And I hate that. It's so much easier to tell someone that than do it. Or we try to get a better job temporarily and then maybe come back with more experience at some point. But that's really up to you. The math is the math in the end, though. And in the end, you can't afford this. You just can't afford this. It's ridiculous. You have $334 of wiggle room on a monthly basis. That's scary.
Well, and I did lower my withholdings, so my check will go up a little bit. I know it's not great, but
that always takes from other things as well. So you're taking from other things. What is your retirement match?
I believe it's like 4%. And I'm
100% match to 4%, and you're taking that?
Yeah.
Good. I would continue taking that.
And the stuff I got rid of was honestly kind of stupid, like the extra life insurance, because I already have a different policy too. My parents took one out on me.
Okay. Is anyone dependent on you?
Well, my dad co-signed on those private loans. I'd like to get them redone eventually because the house.
Redone?
I mean, you know what I mean.
Reconsolidated? Private student loans?
Refinanced?
Again? I thought you already did that.
My dad still co-signed on them, but the house is.
Dude, I don't know if you're going to be able to, unless rates go down, I don't know if you're going to be able to refinance those private student loans at a lower rate.
Yeah. And I might not. I mean, I am completely willing to focus.
Why don't we just pay them off instead?
Yeah, I'm willing to focus on paying those off.
Focus how so? By working 60 hours a week or by getting a better paying job?
By possibly doing some side work for sure.
Okay, so 60 hours a week. Some side work, that doesn't sound like an extra 20 hours a week. So you're searching this out for like 10 years, a whole decade?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I thought I was going to die in debt. So 10 years is much less than I thought.
Okay. Are you in therapy?
Yeah, I have a psychiatrist. I have meds. It's much better than I was.
Should we include that in the budget?
No, my meds are entirely
fully
paid for.
Covered? Okay.
Yeah, and that's the really nice thing. My health insurance is super great. I have a health savings account.
But we can get that at almost any workplace. And
plus, I found out that I have arthritis all up and down my spine, and they Ampact bought me a sit-to-standing desk and an orthopedic chair, so that I can, work on keeping my spine as healthy as I can.
I got a standing desk from my previous job too. Trust me, this is not an overly unique thing that no one else will do. So I wouldn't stay somewhere just because of that. It's nice. I get it. And I get that they care, but you can find caring companies other places. We don't hold ourselves back and stretch this thing out that now I know your parent is co-signed for. We don't just stretch it out for eternity just because we got a standing desk from
No, it's not just because of the standing desk. I know, honestly feel like this job is what I was put on this world to do. And you might not agree with that.
It's not even that. I'm just looking at the math, dude. Yeah. It's irresponsible for me on the side of the table to do anything but. So it's just, so you're going to work 20 hours a week somewhere else. Is that what you're saying?
I can't promise that. I can definitely look into it.
Why? Why would you not try to get out of this as soon as possible? Do you not find this to be as terrifying as I find it?
I mean, it's not a great situation. It's still better than where I was. And if
my cancer went from stage 4 to stage 3, I don't have cancer. Sorry. Bad example. Oh, it got better though. I'm still not thrilled of having stage 3.
Yeah.
Is that even, does it go to stage 4 and 3? I'm sorry.
It doesn't go backwards.
I'm not overly educated on cancer. Think of another analogy still. If something bad gets a little better, but it's still bad, it doesn't mean it's good. Yeah, we don't let the foot off the pedal.
For the first time as long as I can remember, I have hope for my life, and I realize that the math is not good.
Yeah.
But I can change that around. I have been doing some things online, editing services and things like that.
How much is that bringing in a month?
I mean, not very much. I literally just started it. So, I don't know if that's going to pan out. I don't know if there's other stuff that I can wiggle around to cut down those expenses and things like that. I might go get a second job. I don't know. I don't know. I cannot make that decision right now.
You should. I've laid out how bad this is. Mm-hmm. You should see that and decide you want a better future and say, I will do this. That's what someone does when they realize how bad their situation is. Did I not get it across because I wasn't as yelly?
No, I will change it around. I will do what I have to do.
So you will work 20 hours a week. You will.
If I have to, then I will.
Or do you just want to do this for 17 years?
I mean, I'd rather not do it for 17 years, but I will not be in debt until I die, and that is news to me. So
you keep bringing it back to that, and that is an important thing. And I'm very happy that we've overcome some difficulties and we can celebrate that. And I'm really glad. And we want to continue always working on that because mental health is like everything. We're nothing if not our mind. That is great. I don't want you, though, to always take your mind back to that and use that as a cutout or a reason why we can not be as extreme on the debt as we need to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to use that as a fallback. I really don't.
No, and I'm moving forward, but especially in the area that I am, I need to look at what's available, what I can do. I can't do fast food again. I cannot do fast food again.
Everyone always asks me what checking account I use and what high yield savings account I use. Recently, I switched over to SoFi. The reason I did it is because their app is very intuitive and it's super easy to use on your computer as well. But even better than that, their high yield savings account is all the way up to 4.4% at the time of recording this clip. That is so hard to beat, and I am taking advantage of that all day. And not only that, but there's additional bonuses that I took advantage of that you can as well. Set up direct deposit, get a $50 bonus, or all the way up to $250. That's free money. That's free money. I took it. You could take it too. So check out my affiliate link in the description below. It's seriously awesome. I use it each and every day for my banking needs.
Before I came here, I was looking into DoorDash. I'm just trying to figure out if the extra gas and the things, if it's an area that it would be supported in.
It's definitely area by area to look at.
Yeah. So like I was trying to do that and see if I could do that, do DoorDash and things like that. So it's not like I'm saying, no, I'm not going to work an extra job or anything. I just can't say, yeah, I'm going to go out and get a job because I haven't looked. I don't know what's available. And I don't want to tell you something.
Service is, I know you can get a service job today.
Yeah.
Of course, every area is different, but across the United States, it's still service at the time of making this video. Service-based industries, I'm blanking on the name, but more experience-based things, definitely available. Can you walk in, go get a tech job? Not necessarily. There's some industries that have cut back right now, but service and experience based, they're still desperate to hire, and they're going to pay more than that $8 an hour, which is exciting because if you work 20 hours a week and that wage is double what I said, then dude, you're out of this in like 4 years. And we still need to get an emergency fund. This is what's also scaring me. If you do not do what is necessary to start getting pay off these student loans quickly, I fear that car is going to die before your student loans are paid off, and we won't have anything saved up on the side, anything necessary. And then you're going to go into debt for a car. And that's just putting us in a worse place. And it's just going to start continuing that cycle over and over again. So it's just, that's why we want to get out of this, because this $74,000 for 17 years for your income in your life, the risk profile is way too high. And as I think we can all agree, your life is too important to have a risk profile this high. So that's why we're attacking it. That's why we're killing it. It doesn't make sense. If it was $12,000 in student loans, yes, I would attack it, but I wouldn't be as terrified. And then we don't know what's going to happen with the other $70,000. We have hope, but we don't know what's going to happen. So that's why I want you to go as crazy and hard as you can temporarily. Then I'm also scared, even though you say you want to work until your late 70s, who knows what's going to happen with health and blah, 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 blah. Life is unpredictable. We've entered our 30s. We basically have no money saved for retirement. Who knows what Social Security is going to be? We're basically like around the same age. Who knows what Social Security is going to look like by the time we retire?
Yeah, no, I wasn't counting on Social Security.
I wouldn't. And we have basically nothing. So I'm scared there too. So the longer we're waiting to get out of the bad debt, the longer we are waiting to start catching up on life and making sure that you're able to retire, especially if you're forced to retire. You need to be able to have that extra stuff set on the side to make sure that your life is secure in the future. So that's why I'm scared. That's why, knowing what I know and having been in relatively similar situations with debt, spread across different things like credit cards and stuff as well, I went crazy to pay it off. And I don't regret it for a single second. Was it super fun at the time? I would have rather gone and got a nice car, of course, in my sales position when I was just grinding to be at the top of the sales team every single month. I would have loved to put my foot off the pedal every once in a while, but I was also overly competitive, so maybe not. But either way, it's so much better on the other side. With the temporary sacrifice, it's so much better. Then you can start building wealth and it becomes addicting. Just investing. Oh, I can invest even more. Oh, I can invest it even more. And then all of a sudden, oh my goodness.
I don't understand investing at all.
Well, we can get there. At that point, but it does start. That's kind of like a video game. And then you're like, then you can envision, oh my goodness, I actually might be able to live at some point if I can't work. It's incredible. That is not in this future. And the conversation that we've had, that it does not exist. And that's why you need to go crazy.
Yeah. What I really wanted, because I know like retirement and emergency fund and things like that. So I wasn't sure if I should sort of split whatever extra money that I get, including that $300, or if I should throw it all at one thing. Should I try and pay off the Discover first, or should I go for these student loans? And so I really wasn't.
Well, the 300 is not going to make much of a difference towards anything. The Discover, in the budget we built, $235 a month was put into the budget. All you need to do is an extra $10 a month there.
Right.
And that thing is paid off before interest is accrued. Private student loans, so that's where we want to throw everything to.
Focus on that
After you have a 1 month emergency fund, though, because if anything happens, I want you to be able to survive for at least a month while you scramble to find additional income sources.
Right.
Because that'll just put you in a worse place. If you only had $1,000 saved up and an emergency happened, that'll put you in a worse place than when you started trying to get out of debt.
Right.
We've seen that plenty of times on this show, so that number doesn't make any sense. Okay, so either way, I don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good plan. Like I said, I think thinking about getting an extra job, my mind automatically goes to fast food. And I'm like,
sure,
physically, I can't do that. But I was looking at DoorDash, and I was looking. And
if it's good for your area.
Yeah. And I still have to do more research. There's a Barnes & Noble. It's not too far from me. Maybe they're hiring.
Dude, that'd be sick.
You know, stuff like that. So I'm not saying no. I'm just saying I am the type of person who cannot say, yes, I will go do that thing unless I know with 100% certainty that it can be done.
Okay.
So it's not so much saying like, no, I won't work extra, especially because, I mean, honestly, I thought that the best I could do was maybe get it done in 10 years. You're saying 6 or 4. That's crazy. That's I never thought that would be physically possible, you know? So I'm not saying that I won't do it. I'm saying I need to look at the options and pick the best one out of like DoorDash or a more traditional weekend job sort of a thing. And you can have
food service jobs that are not as crazy as Hardee's. I can't speak for Hardee's, but I mean, my first job, Steak and Shake. I made the shakes and I did the dishes. It was hell. It was the worst thing I've ever done in my life. And then I probably would have thought food service was never good again. Then I worked at Jimmy John's, and I worked at Jimmy John's for like 5 or 6 years because it was actually pretty good. So don't just close off, you know, all doors because of that one bad experience. Don't go to that bad experience again. I would never do that.
No, they stuck me on third shift, and it wasn't good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's options, but please just go start working your butt off or get another job, or just start working your butt off, because you're gonna have to be working and not spending any money on fun, which really sucks and is hard to do. But the temporary sacrifice is worth your future, because your future does matter.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts?
I think it's been a little bit more emotional than I was maybe anticipating, but my future is still bright and it's gonna get brighter.
For Sarah, certainly a tough conversation. We've had many tough conversations here, and, you know, it's certainly no easier to get into that situation where you're going to start sacrificing and working hard. What's most important is getting that started, and I really hope she does soon. When it comes to her Hammer financial score, spending within a budget, I think I have to give her an honest 5 out of 10. I'd say pretty average. Certainly some mistakes that we saw, not perfect, but it really wasn't the worst. Debt, if it was lower balances on both those things, I'd be giving a higher score, but I can't go higher than 1 out of 10 because that private student loans being like a mortgage is just insanity. Retirement, barely started for her age. I'm very scared with it. It's going to be a 2 out of 10. Emergency fund has $800 sitting there, barely started. It's going to be a 1 out of 10. Real estate, not a part of the picture, 0 out of 10. So for her Hammer financial score, that is going to be a 2 out of 10, and I really hope it improves over the next 6 years. Check out all the resources linked in the description below. I have some paid affiliate links there. They are resources that I either use right now or would use in specific situations as well, like a very high yield savings account or Acorns, where you can put $5 in and get a free $5, and there's other resources as well. And don't forget to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Thank you. Also, whoever has the most viewed TikTok or YouTube short using a clip from this video, I'll send you $100. Post however many times you want, but you must tag my YouTube/TikTok @ and put YouTube Caleb Hammer in the title/description.